Okay, guys, these are going to be the last notes that you're going to need before you can log on for the Universe quiz. So the last thing we need to talk about relates to the video and the discussion that you should have completed by now, and that is the electromagnetic spectrum, which is comprised of waves. So when we're talking about waves, we're not talking about waves in the ocean. Okay, this would be a wave. So, for instance, so waves is traveling energy. Okay, so the wavelength of a wave is the distance between each wave crest. Okay, so wavelength is actually a measurement of distance. And then the frequency of a wave is how many waves occur in a given amount of time. So it's a rate. And usually that amount of time is measured per second. Okay. So the longer the wavelength, the key thing here is that the longer the wavelength, that would mean that they're spread apart. So that would make the frequency much lower. Okay. And the inverse of that would be the shorter the wavelength, the higher the frequency. All right, and sometimes you'll see a wavelength given to you in this symbol. Okay, that's just the wavelength symbol. Okay, so when we're talking about the electromagnetic spectrum, it lists for us, as you saw in the video, there's several different types of waves on the electromagnetic spectrum. Radio waves, microwaves, visible light waves, infrared, X-ray, gamma. Okay, there's lots of different types in the video. Explain each of them. Radio waves, they have the longest wavelength, which means they have the lowest frequency. Okay. Gamma rays have the shortest wavelength, which gives us the highest frequency. So radio waves you're probably familiar with. I talked about in the video how they are used to transport information or transfer information over long distances. And so they have a very low energy, so they're not harmful to humans. Gamma rays are very harmful for humans because they have such a high frequency. They emit very high energies that would actually harm you if you were exposed to them. Visible light is also on the electromagnetic spectrum, and it is the only waves that we can see. So they are the only waves that we can see. They're the only waves visible by humans. Okay, and we know the old acronym for visible light as Roy G. Biv. Okay, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. The red waves, the red color that we see, they have the longest wavelength. The violet or the blue, they have the shortest wavelength. It's the highest energy, highest frequency. Okay, now all of this plays into our understanding of the Big Bang Theory, which is where we're moving on for this. This is how this all fits into the universe unit. Because since red visible light has the longest wavelength, then we use the red shift as evidence of the Big Bang Theory. So the red shift states that objects in space show a red shift. Therefore, they are moving away from an origin. Okay. This provides evidence for the Big Bang Theory, which is the accepted theory of the origin of the universe. Okay, because it says that the entire universe started from one point and it still expands out. Okay, so that is the Big Bang Theory. Okay, following this set of notes, you should be able to now complete your quiz in the Universe folder on Schoology. I would suggest you write down all of the notes and keep them in a folder for you to refer back to as your Universe notes. Our next unit we're going to get into to review is going to be chemistry, and it'll be a similar format.